Tu m'entends ou pas?
Ouais,
Est-ce que tu vois mon screen?
je vois ton screen.
Putain, c'est beau ça.
Quand tout le monde est en
C'est
accélère.
magnifique.
Pourquoi tout le monde s'appelle m'accélère à part moi?
C'est une bonne question. Pourquoi il y a quatre participants là?
Parce que je pense que vous êtes vraiment.
Ah, mais parce que, ok. Parce qu'en gros, j'ai mon écran, il y a moi, et il y a Richie qui est en Max Feller aussi.
Ouais, mais je crois que Richard il est pas
Totalement
dedans.
venu en special guest. Et c'est beau.
Ouais. Mais je préfère des dingueries. Mince, j'ai
On
mis
se
une
dit quoi,
flèche.
on
Tu vois la
commence à
flèche ou pas?
5. Non.
Là, sur ton écran.
Sur mon écran.
Ouais.
Oui. Toi qui fais
Ouais,
ça?
ok. Ouais, donc les gens peuvent faire ça.
Ah, c'est relou.
Ouais,
Comment j'enlève ça?
je sais pas. Pas le bloquer.
Hmm, plus.
Alors, en gros, il faut que les gens puissent pas utiliser la barre d'outils. Parce que je peux créer du texte sur ton truc, je peux mettre des images, je peux gommer ton écran.
Tu mens.
Ouais.
Oh, l'enfer.
Je vais tout effacer.
Supprimer l'autorisation d'épinglement multiple. Et je suis obligé de les faire à la mano, c'est très compliqué ça.
Tu m'as dit quoi? Je t'écoutais pas.
Non, non, je regardais les trucs que je peux faire pour enlever les possibilités de tout le monde, mais
Ok, attends, je regarde si je peux te mute déjà. Non.
ok.
Ah, il y a un nouveau Max Feller.
Hervé Alexandre,
Ah, attends.
magnifique.
Alors, je peux pas te. Non, je peux pas. Par contre, je peux épingler du monde. Ça, c'est chiant.
Ok. En
Bon,
vrai,
au
si
pire, je
vous êtes
serai là
chaud,
à
enfin,
côté si jamais. Ouais, on va modérer un
ouais,
peu.
c'est ce que j'allais dire. En gros, il y en a un qui fait un peu le modo.
Vas-y, je fais le
Vous voyez
modo.
qu'il y en a magnifique. Ouais.
Bon, je me mute.
Yes,
Vas-y.
pareil.
Là, vous voyez mon screen, on est d'accord?
Yes, sir.
Ouais.
Vas-y, parfait. Hey guys, hey everyone. Starting accepting some people in the chat. We're gonna wait a few minutes and then we will start.
Servus.
Hey Bastien, hey everyone.
Hello.
Bastien, as I mentioned, just waiting a few minutes for everyone coming, and then we can start.
Wonderful.
Hello.
Hey Larry, waiting.
Fine, thank you. And you?
Fine, fine.
Hello.
Hey Louis, hey Hervé. I think the both researchers are in the room at the moment, Bastien and Louis. So I will start first. I think we are 20 in the chat, so we can already start the workshop. So first, welcome everyone. Today we are going to talk about ideation for helping the builders to find their ID during the hackathon. And for that, we have two amazing names, Bastien and Louis today, two researchers that are here to provide expertise, hot topic about the best topic to explore during this hackathon, the Hack4Privacy that we are doing with iExec. And thanks again to iExec for all the support committed to this journey. So I will start. So first of all, just a reminder on the registration link on the DoraHack. I've seen that a lot of you just made a registration on Luma. Just a reminder that you need also to register on DoraHacks. The link is on the Luma link, so you just have to scroll a bit and you have all the necessary information. You have to register on DoraHack, create your team, you have all the information, and then you can also ask the iExec team if you have more specific question. But just a reminder for everyone before starting the small workshops today. So here is the agenda. I will start just with a quick overview of 50 partners. So just to give you the big picture of what we are doing in the ecosystem. And I know Richard made an amazing presentation last week, but for those that were not present at this stage, I think that's a great reminder for you to have the big picture on what we are operating in the ecosystem, what we are doing on a daily basis with early stage projects. So I will start with that, and then make a quick intro about what we are here and why we are dealing with today, and why we are speaking about research and why it's important in this sphere. And then I will let the floor to Bastien and Louis to present their inputs and also the amazing background that they have and the work that they have done in the ecosystem so far. So and finally, maybe the most important part on your side, the Q&A session, is also the idea for you to just leverage the expertise that we put on the table today for you to find your ID and just bring amazing use case on the market during these 2 weeks of hackathon. So first of all, on the 50 partners, just for you to give the overview. As a reminder, we are an hybrid model between an accelerator and a VC structure, operating since 14 years at the moment and created by 50 ex-founders, 50 amazing entrepreneurs that have made amazing stuff in the past, successful companies, successful exits, and they are dedicated to support new projects, leveraging their expertise and their network. So basically, we are here to support the tomorrow's success stories, leveraging this amazing group of ex-founders. And so we are operating since 14 years at the moment. And basically the partners are dedicated on a daily basis to support, to accelerate, to drive the business idea and to support the entrepreneurs all the way along to the success. That's basically what we are doing on a daily basis. And that's also our job. So a few metrics on our side. As I said, we were creating in 2012, more than 160 projects accelerated so far in 4 different industries. So at the beginning, more tech agnostic related, and then we verticalized the solution on other industry like impact, health, and Web3, of course. Today, we are going to talk only about Web3 and crypto related topic, but that's for you to better understand the beginning of 50 partners and what we have done so far in the ecosystem. Few names regarding the partners on the Web3 side. So we are quite lucky to have Jérôme Dechier, for example, from Comets, also C-Level from Uniswap and Consensus. Of course, you know this kind of company in the ecosystem, so high impactful companies driving a lot of use case in the market. We also have the chance to have Jill from iExec, so that's why we have iExec aside us during this hackathon today. And for example, Victor from MoonPay is CTO of MoonPay, like a $1 billion company. In the portfolio at the moment, we have 16 projects running through the Web3 accelerator. So a lot of topic related with DeFi, RWA, privacy as well. And that's also why we're talking about privacy in DeFi and RWA during this hackathon. So just for you to better understand how it works in terms of the support. So basically, we have different leverage that we can activate to support the project in the best way. The first one, or of course, the core of the value proposition, the partners themselves. So they have an amazing background, and basically they open you the doors for their network, their expertise, and the idea just to provide the best people in the sphere to go further and faster. So we basically provide you a strong network of industry professionals and domain experts, and especially on crypto and Web3. We play an important role also on the fundraising side. Basically, we are here side you on the same seat as the founder seat as a lay founder to help you structure an effective fundraising strategy. For that, we connect the accelerated project with top tier investors in the ecosystem, and we also leverage a lot the business angel that we have around the 50 partners network. The first one is the most obvious one. The partners themselves, they have the ability to invest as business angel, and we also have amazing connection in the sphere with other VCs in France, in Europe, but not only. As you know, crypto is a global market, so we have connection across the globe with the biggest VC you may know in the sphere. And basically, we also help you to push forward the development thanks to the different resources we're going to provide all the journey long. So our scope today is Web3. Of course, our core value proposition is to support the best early stage projects in France and in Europe for now. And the biggest topic that we have in the pipe now, it's mostly around DeFi, infra, payments, RWA, privacy. We see a lot of topic also on capital efficiency, more recently, more on prediction markets, perp decks, but we are quite agnostic. So we are aware that the crypto ecosystem is evolving really fast and we need to adapt. So any kind of interesting use case coming to the market could be a fit for us. And on the funding side, so we basically support 6 to 8 projects per year. So we are quite selective. And then we leverage all the VC network, the partners, and also our own investment side, because we have the ability to invest from $100K to $2 million into the project that we support. And in average, that's a strong KPI to showcase. Activity project complete a fundraising round in less than 3 months, for example. So that's a pretty insightful. And so now on the second part, why we are here today and why we are going to talk about research and why it matters basically. So last years, on 2025, we screened 1,000 projects per year. It was the case for 2025. And here is the take. So this is the reality check. The project coming from research are the best project coming in the ecosystem. They are the most impactful projects, and the use case behind that are really more developed, and the impacts that have this kind of project are just amazing when this kind of project are coming to the market and coming to the ecosystem. In the other side, hackathon are a great way to build the community and to help the community starting building in the ecosystem, driving massive volume on new ideas, new prototypes. And that's actually pretty cool because we see a lot of projects coming through hackathon and becoming new successful companies. But here's the fact. On the research side, a lot of amazing ideas stay just ideas. And the gap between the market and research is sometimes difficult to breach. And they just too often remain at the concept stage. And that's a pain for the market because these applications are needed for everyone. And this is the kind of use case that can have a maximum impact on the market. And on the hackathon side, people are here, people are building, and that's great. But too many projects are just low quality and remain gadgets in the ecosystem because the use case are just disconnected from market realities, and they are often the same, like really simple use case. And as a builders, sometimes you do not have the best visibility to just having the best tools in your hands to build in an effective way. So this is where we come, and this is also our role to bridge the gap between research and builders agility, combining basically the best of both worlds, the research side and the hackathon side, but on the positive way. So leveraging the expertise of research and the community building on the hackathon just to make a great connection. And as an accelerator and VC involved to support the best project in the ecosystem, it's also our responsibility to make this fall and trying to bridge the gap, even if it's quite difficult. But this hackathon is a great way for you to just transform ideas or use case that you have in mind, discuss with amazing researcher to challenge your vision, improve the project in consequences, and build to be finally market ready at the end of the hackathon, or maybe a few more days later. So today, that's why we have Bastien and Louis, for you to just leverage the top tier research expertise and just trying to find the best idea in the ecosystem and just leverage the expertise that we provide. So I've talked a lot, and I will let you the floor, Bastien and Louis, for you to just present yourself. We are really glad to have you today on this workshop. So the idea for you is just to present quickly your background, what you have done in the ecosystem so far, and also present some hot topic that you see at the moment in the market, because as you know, you have amazing builders in the call today. So that's the way for you to just showcase some idea and make the connection to build amazing stuff in the sphere. So
Maybe just before we have the chance to have Martin from iExec. Maybe Martin, before that, you want to add some word about iExec
Yeah, sure.
and the hackathon together. And sorry, Bastien, just after we can go further on the presentation.
Oh, thanks. I didn't prepare anything, so no, thanks for being here. It will be an amazing workshop, really interesting. And as a hacker, we always need advice, like finding the best idea to do, and it's always a good advice to don't stay alone. Come to us, ask a question. When you need help, if you want to confirm your idea, like some builders on our Discord. So now go on and let's go for these amazing workshops.
Bastien, I'll let you the floor if you want to present. I know you have some slide or something, so if you want to share the screen, feel free to do it.
Thank you so much. But maybe I will let Louis start presenting himself and his work.
Sure, I
yes,
can.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I can go ahead and start. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Max, for the opportunity to talk about research in this hackathon you've organized. So I'm really happy to be able to talk about that. I cannot share my screen. Can you allow me? I have prepared some slides.
I will stop my.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sure. Yeah, it's good.
Good. So I just have some slides. I will show you some of the research we've been doing. But first, maybe let me start by introducing myself. So I'm a researcher. I did a PhD in finance at the University of Paris Dauphine, and I've specialized in blockchain research during my PhD. So I worked a lot on like fundamental stuff and consensus stuff, mostly around proof of work and Bitcoin. And then slowly, but I moved to quite advanced, let's say, DeFi research. So after my PhD, I joined a research institute called Institut Louis Bachelier, which is a research institute in finance, essentially in mathematical finance, essentially dealing with the traditional finance side. And there I've led a number of initiatives around blockchain, and now I lead all the research around blockchain and decentralized finance. So what we do at Institut Louis Bachelier is first we do our own research, but we also work very closely with with the industry. So both like in the traditional finance, like the historical work of Institut Bachelier, we worked a lot with all the financial institutions, and essentially our role. Our role is to kind of bridge this gap between the research and the industry that Max was talking about. So we talk to researchers, we talk to the industry, and we try to build like research projects. To give you an information, there is about, I think, around 10 million of euros of research volume that is going through the Institut Bachelier every year. So it's quite large, and we have duplicated this system in the blockchain and decentralized finance industry. So we have worked a lot with some DeFi startups, but also banks and different kind of institutions that add some research questions or ways, at least in which we could have value. Okay, so I think that's pretty much for me. Now let me just show you. So we do a lot of research, but throughout over the past 4 years, we have worked with two very big projects. Those are two of the most important projects we have worked on. And so let me briefly introduce them to you. So of course, without the technical details, but because I think it's not the point here, but I'm really happy to answer any questions you may have, whether from the high level or from any technical details you might want to learn about. So I will first talk about lending protocols, and then I will talk briefly about automated market makers. Oops, sorry. So this project was performed in collaboration with Morpho. So as I said, those projects, we don't do only projects with company, but we do work closely with some DeFi startups. So we have worked with Morpho for several years now, and we have the project I would like to talk about now was essentially performed when they switched to their optimizers that they talk about. So the very first version of Morpho to the what was called Morpho Blue, I think now it's just called Morpho. And I'm not going to explain. I guess pretty much everyone should know what's our lending protocol work, but we were involved in the development and in the work around the interest rate models. Okay, so in lending protocols, the interest rate models play a critical role because it's here to allow to maintain the correct incentives for both borrowers and lenders to leave some liquidity in the protocol, so that you have external borrowers that can come and draw liquidity from the protocol to become new borrowers, and also at the same time you have the existing lenders. They are the term is there is no maturity mostly on lending protocols. So the lend means that the lenders should have the ability to exit the pool pretty much whenever they want, and so the interest rate models is going to play this critical role to leave some liquidity in the protocol. Okay, so there is a research paper. I'm going to show it to you, and so this is a kind of modeling of agents' behavior on lending protocols and mathematical formulation of these problems in the mathematical sense that a platform like Morpho is facing when trying to set the right interest rate models. And we have also worked on, again, from like a mathematical perspective, I would say, on alternative market mechanisms that will be rolled into production very soon by Morpho. and also a lot of discussion about the vaults, essentially on Morpho, but also vaults in a more general way. So this is the kind of work we do, just to give you an intuition. So it's just like one or two. I'm going to show you another figure also, but this is just so the dashed line that you see here are the interest rate models that are observed on AAV and compound, essentially. And for some reason the units are missing, but in the x-axis you have the utilization ratio of the pool. So essentially, if it's close to 1, the protocol is very efficient, but there is no liquidity at all in the pool. And if it's close to 0, there is a lot of liquidity, but it's really not efficient. So all the interesting stuff are going to happen very close to 1, but not exactly 1. And the interest rate model, the interest rate is going to increase a lot when you reach 1, because this is really a state in which you don't want to stay, okay? Because you don't want the protocol to have no liquidity. So you would like to stay very high, but not at exactly 1. And so what's interesting here, and I hope this is clear, is that the solid line that you see here is the results from an optimization problem, which is kind of what we call the optimal interest rate within our framework. Of course, there is a lot of assumptions and things like that, but it has the shape which is very similar to what you observe in very simple forms, which is usually a piecewise linear function for the interest rates on AAV and compound. Okay, so what's interesting is that you see that, of course, it was not built with an optimization problem in mind, the AAV and the compound curve, but it turns out to be very close to what should optimally be performed by the platform. So yeah, I'm happy to discuss that further if you want. And also, this is usually the kind of work we do. So we do a lot of simulations. So we model agents' behavior on a market, and there once we have the behavior of agents, then we can simulate thousands of different sample paths and see what are the effects of changing that parameters or that parameters. And so here, this is just some metrics that we measure to try to converge toward what should optimally be the interest rate models. Okay, so this is a different color that you see are the different of the value of these metrics for different value of the parameters. See, I'm not going into the detail of exactly what this C parameter is, but you see that the kind of work we do. If you're interested in that, you can have a look at the paper. For some reason, I didn't put the title of the paper here, but it's agents' behavior and interest rate models in decentralized lending platforms. It was published in the top finance journal, Mathematical Finance, last year. And yeah, you feel free to go look at it, even if it's going to feel a bit academic. Okay, so that's for the lending platforms. And for the AMMs, so automated market makers, we have also worked with for some years now with the startup called Swap with 2 A's. Swap used to be an AMM provider. Now they have transitioned to more like hedge funds, but we have worked a lot with them when they were doing essentially open and public and retail AMMs. And here also, so I'm not again going to go into the details, but essentially we used on the work we did with Swap, we used the literature in traditional finance about market making, so the optimal market making literature, and try to apply that to blockchain. So it turned, as you know, there are some consideration and restrictions on the blockchain world. For instance, latency, the fact that once you have published the code, you cannot change it, and so on. And it's kind of, and also what's very important is is the computational restriction. You cannot solve very complex equations directly within the smart contract. So this is something that you cannot really, you have to find workarounds, I would say. And so what we did here is to apply the results and the traditional, the literature in traditional finance around market making onto the problem that Swap was facing, which was essentially building an optimized, let's say, a good product in terms of good market maker on the blockchain. So we did like that for the very general, let's say, AMMs, and then we have play around a bit with the model that you can, because when you do that in the traditional finance literature, you have to impose a model for the diffusion of the underlying assets. And we know that the crypto assets are very volatile and they behave slightly differently than traditional assets. So there was also some work to be done to adapt the traditional modeling of assets to crypto assets. And then also you have the specifics of stable coins. So when you have an AMM, which is USDC against USDT, for instance, so two stable coins, the price should revert to one, but it can stay for a long time significantly above or below one. So this is also some kind of different diffusion process that you want to take into account. And recently we have also worked on cross-chain market making. So think about like a market maker like Swap or any other funds performing so market making like within the Ethereum ecosystem on the mainnet and on the different layer twos, and also between Ethereum and Solana. You have one of the specifics of crypto markets and AMMs is that the liquidity is heavily fragmented. You have the same trading pairs that is trading on many different environments, and this creates very interesting. So of course, as you can guess, many arbitrary opportunities, but also this is quite specific when you think about traditional finance. So this is also something you want to take into account and develop special products for that. So very briefly, here we have published as of now 3 papers. I mean, released 3 papers. You have the titles here. I guess you will have the recording of the slides. Feel free to look at these papers. Yeah, they contain way more details than what I just showed. And to finish, I hope I was not too long. But to finish, so what's next? We are asked. I mean, Max asked us to show or to the new trends or the next trends we see. This is quite challenging to do, of course, because if I knew what was going on, I would probably build it myself. But I would say that in terms of research questions, there are many research questions. Blockchains and decentralized finance are very specific and very special environment when you think about finance. We see more and more interest from large institutions and from traditional finance institutions. So it's likely that the aggregated volumes in DeFi will just keep increasing, regardless of the crypto market prices and conditions. So with all this new liquidity that is likely going to come at some point, there are still a lot of very interesting questions. The 2 main questions, like purely from research, there is a lot about scaling and also vault management. I think Vault is kind of replicating the whole asset management industry directly on chain, and this is something. I mean, when you see the scale of the asset management industry off chain, I think that's a big hint that there is probably something that will be very important in the future. So there is. Don't get me wrong. There is already a lot of projects building vaults and things like that, managing risk in DeFi. But I think there is still some room to build stuff, and especially in terms of research. And in terms of more building and maybe more from a high level, my personal view is that there is still two very big aspects of finance that are completely or almost completely missing from DeFi, which is derivative products and insurance. When I say derivative products, I mean purely on-chain derivative products, options protocol and things like that. And insurance, there is a few insurance protocol. I mean, there are some, but I think no one has yet cracked the problem and the reason for why there is not yet a large derivative or insurance protocol is the collateral efficiency and the collateral management that you have to perform in order to build this product. So maybe there is a solution, maybe there is no solution. It's not clear right now. I think no one has really cracked this problem. So I think this is something worth it to spend some time and to try to tackle this problem. Okay, I hope I was clear. I will stop here. I will leave the room to Bastien, and I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
There is a question in the chat from Thibaut asking, when you say a protocol is efficient, what do you want to say by that?
That's a good question and a large question. The answer is that it depends on the context. When I say, for instance, that the protocol is efficient in terms of pricing, when you think about an AMM, it means that you want the price to be fair in a sense, and also efficient in terms of liquidity usage and liquidity management for liquidity providers, for instance. Efficient may also mean that I guess a good definition would be that the risk that is taken by the agents is properly rewarded. Okay, so if you have a correct risk reward schedule, you can be said to be efficient, I guess. But short answer is that it depends on the context.
Okay, Evelyn, you have also a question from your side. You're on mute, by the way.
Yeah, no, I was unmuting. What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So when you were talking about like insurance, can you kind of, when you were saying about like talking about like at the end with vault management, derivative products and insurance, can you kind of hone in a little bit more on the insurance aspect of it? Like, is that just like for industry or what, or is there, I thought I heard something about compliance as well, like looking for solutions that are obviously like compliant. So are you saying that that's like an issue?
No, so what I meant, so in insurance, I mean, it's actually the derivative products and insurance are actually very, very close. You can view a derivative product as a form of insurance. When I say insurance, I mean stuff more like I mean, there are many things you may want to insure in DeFi, like the protocol risk or some kind of risk that parties might want to average out and to diversify and to hedge. You can think about, for instance, a good example I think is the safety module from Aave. I don't know if you know exactly how it works, but essentially on Aave and on essentially all lending platforms, you can have some risk of having a bad debt. The collateral is here to mitigate this risk, but in some very extreme market condition, the collateral may not be enough to pay for the debt. And so this is a risk that the liquidity providers are bearing. and they might want to insure that risk out. So on Aave, there is this safety module built inside the protocol that can be used when there is some bad debt and when there is some loss incurred by the protocol because of extreme market conditions. But this is the kind of things you may want to completely, let's say, generalize. Okay, so there is like pure DeFi risk. You can also think about essentially all the risk that traditional insurance company are going to take. You can think about like climate risk. As soon as the risk you're trying to hedge is going to be external to the blockchain itself, it's a little bit more complex because you have to get Oracle in the game and things like that. So there is a few more questions, let's say, but there is already a ton of risk within the blockchain that you may want to hedge. I hope that makes sense.
No, it does. Yeah, that answers it. Okay. Clarity. Thank you.
Thanks.
I think Bastien, you can go ahead if you want. There is no more question on that part.
Wonderful. Okay, so I will start by presenting myself. So I am Bastien Baude, a PhD student at Paris-Saclay University, so Central Supélec in Paris. Previously, I worked in the investment banking industry, okay, for several years. I work as a quantitative risk analyst for Natixis and Société Générale on the equities and commodities perimeter. Okay, and today my area of research focus on the microstructure of decentralized finance protocol, from lending protocol to decentralized exchanges. Okay, so the idea is really to try to take a loop and zoom on the protocol and to try to explain the behavior of the agents. Okay, I will try to share my screen. Tac. Could you hello? Could you see it?
All good from my side.
Wonderful. Okay, so we previously presented some cases when research and applied math allow us to design and to contribute to protocol, with the example of Morpho notably, and the famous interest rate model. And now I will focus on cases when we use research and again apply math to improve existing protocol. Okay, so we really want to improve them, and why not to create another protocol on top of them to improve the services that they want to provide. So the first one is the optimal DEX order splitting. Okay, so the idea is really simple. We have a trader that wants to buy or sell it instantly. Okay, so you have access to multiple DEXs such as Uniswap, Curve, and so on, because we know that the liquidity is fragmented. Okay, and each DEX has its own characteristic, like different liquidity, AMM, pricing curve, and so on. Okay, so the main question here is, how should the trade be split across DEXs to maximize the amounts that we received? Okay, And actually, it's not a trivial question. It's quite complex to tackle, okay? Because larger trade will move the price unfavorably due to slippage, and this slippage depends on the liquidity available on each dexes, okay? So this problem was addressed by Vincent Danos, Hamza El Galofi, and co-authors with multiple Uniswap
Excuse me,
V3
Bastien.
dexes.
Excuse me,
Yes?
Bastien. I think you are just a microphone tapping your jacket, and there is just like a parasite on your sound. So
Sorry?
just if
Sorry?
you can, just maybe if you can put your microphone a bit less closer than your jacket.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
So sorry.
Sorry to
Okay.
interrupt you.
No problem. It is better now?
Yeah, I think that's
Yes?
good.
Okay. Okay. So I was saying that this problem was addressed by Vincent Danos and co-authors with many Uniswap V3 dexes. Okay, but still there is a lot of question when we start to add curve and other protocol. Okay, so again, really difficult question, and it is a huge topic because it is exactly the business of DEX aggregator, which is a quite huge business today. Okay. I have another example, which is less common in the decentralized finance ecosystem, but is well known in the more traditional finance one. Okay, so we still have our trader who want to buy or sell it, but this time it's not instantly, but over a given time horizon. Like for example, I want to sell one it within 1 hour, okay, or 1 day. And we can execute multiple trades along the way, okay, until the deadline. And unfortunately, market condition may vary during execution, of course, okay? So now we want to, again, maximize our return, our amount received, but we also need to control our risk, okay? And the challenge here, obviously, is if we are trading too slowly, we are exposed to price risk and opportunity cost, okay? Because we know the price like right now, but we do not know it in 1 hour or in 1 day. And if we trade too quickly, unfortunately, we increase price impact and slippage. Okay, so there is this balance that we are looking at. Okay, and I worked on this problem, and I put the cited paper here. Last cases that I wanted to speak about deal with lending protocol. Okay, so now we have an investor that wants to lend assets, okay, to benefit from passive income, okay, to generate passive income. Again, you have access to multiple lending pool, okay, from AV, Morpho, and so on. And each one have its own interest rates, risk, and liquidity, of course, okay? So the question is quite similar, but this one, this time, it will be how should the capital be allocated across the liquidity pool, and this time to maximize the yield, okay, and managing risk, okay? And it is, again, quite difficult because larger deposits will highly dilute the interest rates. Okay, so if we have a platform who give us maybe 10% as interest rates, okay, if you invest $100, you will receive those 10% at the end of the year. But unfortunately, if you put 10 or 100 million, you will definitely kill the rate. And this is exactly what I am speaking about. Okay, so we really need to take our impact into account to derive the optimal strategy here. Okay, so again, this is something that I am investigated with Vincent and Hamza. Okay, so basically the idea today was to present some concrete example, okay, where we can leverage those optimization tools to design efficient algorithm to tackle this problem, and why not at the end of the day propose this service by building a new protocol on top of those existing one. Okay, so it was all I have to present. Maybe regarding the new trend. So I totally agree with Rui on vault management and derivative products. And maybe regarding the derivative products, some of them are really missing regarding the interest rate again, because like we know those interest rates are variables, okay, and in practice they are highly variables, and maybe we want some kind of protection, like I want at least 5% at the end of the year, and this is exactly a derivative product on the interest rate. Okay, we can think about other derivative products such as swap. Okay, we swap constant rate for variable and the other way around. So those products with concrete and really important goal are still missing in the ecosystem, and looking forward to see how we can tackle this problem together. So it's good on my side. If you have any question, feel free to ask.
Thank you very much, Bastien. It was super interesting. If there is any question in the room, that's the moment to ask.
There is a question about bad debt in the chat. I don't know if you want to address that.
I can. Okay, so in a lending protocol, you will, for example, borrow $, and you will have to put some collateral. Okay, so you borrow maybe 10 or $100, okay, and you will have to put the double worth in Bitcoin. Okay, this is the guarantee that you will not leave with the loan. Okay, and the protocol will track the value of your collateral over time. Okay, to start, begin with a value of 200, but obviously we move due to price fluctuation of Bitcoin. And if at some point the price drop below the price of the loan, this is exactly a bad debt, okay? Because the contractor can live with the loan and not repay it, okay? So as a liquidity provider, I will lose my contribution. Yeah. Obviously, there are some liquidation mechanism that are implemented in practice in order to mitigate this risk. Okay, so we did not see like a really huge bad debts in the market, but there is still a risk that can happen. I hope it was clear.
Seems to be in the chat. If some builders want to just challenge their ID or showcase their currently building, or just sharing some ID that they want to just having some feedback on this, feel free to do it. That's the moment. Like, feel free to share any project idea that you have in order to see which kind of mechanism that you can implement on chain, and having also an expertise in front of you to give the possibility to challenge the vision that you have. In the chat, maybe, no one? Yes, Evelyn?
Okay, so I'm listening here in the excuse me, in the background. Hold on, Telegram is going off right now. Quit. Okay. I'm in the background here, just kind of like listening in, and then the idea that I've had for a while, and I'm kind of going back and reworking to kind of like pivot into something that can be an immediate solution based on research that I found and my vision, and then also like MVP, market product value, or market product. Yeah. So essentially, the big idea is a blockchain with hybrid consistency. So strict and sequential consistency that offers more privacy. And then along with that, and then of course, like offer this to industry, like, compliance and whatnot. So basically perfect for like DeFi and things of that nature. What I'm trying to build is a communications tool where you can share information like privately. You can share information like within departments, maybe even kind of like chat with the information, send reports and things of that nature. And then also something where users can own their data. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, there's actually there's a build-a-thon going on with Alio. And there's actually there could be some synergy. There's some synergy there because they're both privacy focused. So basically using like iExec to like have the information private, and then have Alio verify the information privately. So that's what I'm kind of like thinking right now. I'm just trying to think of a way in which I can build out this communications tool to fit like as far as like lending like protocols are concerned. Because there are some issues that could lend it to in regards to like public exposure of borrower and collateral data. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to. Does that make sense? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because I'm still kind of figuring this out in my brain and then trying to also explain it. So does that make sense at all? Kind of a lot.
Yes,
sure.
this is definitely a huge topic because every investor will deposit some wealth on those platform, but maybe it will be also on behalf of clients. Okay, and as a bank, I do not want all of this information completely open. Okay, I want a bit of privacy for my clients. So it is, you're right, a very huge topic today. I saw a protocol which name is Zama, who is trying to encrypt information on existing blockchain, because this is really like kind of huge aspect is here is it's hard to always start from scratch and rebuild everything at some points, and most importantly today the ecosystem is already big. We have so many protocol and blockchain, so it's also nice to leverage the existing tools and infrastructure. And so Zama try to encrypt information on existing blockchains such as Ethereum. So it is really a nice tool to use for lending protocol as example. And if you use it, if I deposit maybe $100, no one will know the exact amount. So it is it could be really powerful actually to use this kind of tools for privacy.
Are you, oh, I'm sorry. Like, are you suggesting them as kind of like, is that something I can kind of look into? Maybe it's like a case study and kind of like see what they did. Is that what you're saying? Or
they are providing the infrastructure and not the services. So at the end, these are tools who allow us to encrypt information, but then we have to apply it to concrete services. So yes, there is some room here because the last part is missing. We have the tools, we have the services, but there is no connection right now.
okay, and what was that called again? I didn't
Zama.
catch. How do you spell it? I'm gonna look it up.
Zama. Okay, I will send you the link in the chat. Tac. Okay. This one.
Okay, I see it. Thank you.
There was a question in the chat about Zama being zero knowledge. What they do is called full homeomorphic encryption. It's quite complex in the detail. I don't know if Bastien, you know exactly how it works. What I understand is that it allows essentially to perform operations and work on encrypted data. So you can encrypt your database. Usually, if you want to work on your database, you have to unencrypt it or decrypt it. Then you make your work, and then you re-encrypt the new version. With a full homeomorphic encryption, you can perform operations on the encrypted data, so without revealing the encrypted data. And you can be sure that at the end of the operations, this is what you wanted to do. Like if you wanted to, I don't know, average one column or something like that, you can average the column in which is encrypted, and the average will also be encrypted. And if you decrypt everything, it will be the right operation. And this is what I get. And so yeah, they are trying to replicate, I think, the Ethereum virtual machine in a full homomorphic encryption so that you could run arbitrary smart contracts in this privacy preserving way. This is as far as I can go on full homomorphic encryption.
Yes, I don't have the detail either.
On dedicated, especially like if you're meaning taking off-chain data and encrypt it to just interact with on-chain action thanks to this encrypted off-chain data, I think you can do quite of the same with FHE. It's not the same thing that you have to keep in mind from your side because you have pros and cons using ZK or FHE or even other encryption mechanism. For example, MPC or TEE. I know iExec is also well placed on the TEE sphere, so I will just recommend you, Larry, to make your research on the difference. And because either you can have the same use case, the impact of the technology that you're using, either FHE, ZK, MPC, TEE, and so on, doesn't allow the same use case as well. Like you have some use case where it's better to use ZK, some use case where it's better to use FHE and so on. So depending the use case you want to provide, you will not necessarily use the same encryption mechanism or cryptography mechanism behind the protocol or the use case, the solution you want to build.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any remaining question in the chat or?
Yes, sorry, I have a question. Do you hear me?
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hello. I wanted to ask you, you said about Zama and that something is missing into that we have the infrastructure, that we have the tools, and that we have all the libraries, but what is exactly missing in your opinion?
So they provide these tools to encrypt data, but then we need to apply it to existing protocol, existing services. Okay, so for example, we can like replicate completely Uniswap with these tools, okay? Because it's not straightforward. We have to re-implement all the code of Uniswap with those encryption tools in order to properly encrypt everything and still have the right services which work at the end. Okay, so the tool is ready. I think I saw news like they are already doing few transactions on Ethereum. Okay, but they are only sending money on crypto, but only sending money, and there is again this final layer, which consists in replicate protocol with this tool.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Okay.
Someone has a last question, maybe, because we are running a bit out of time, but feel free if you still have some specific question. Well, if it's quiet in the chat, I think it's the moment to say thank you guys, and especially for you, Louis and Bastien, for contributing and taking the time to present your work and your vision on the market. It's super useful. I think that's also a need for the early stage builders ecosystem to just having the best resources in order to build the best tools and just maximize the impact that you're providing to the ecosystem by building value and by building new stuff. So congratulations for the contribution. And thank you again for coming today. And if some people have remaining question after the workshop, feel free to ping me on LinkedIn or on X if you want like just some help on a regular basis regarding what you're going to chip. I'm more than happy to take the time if I can. And yeah, that's pretty all. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you all, and good luck to the participants.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Bye bye.
Bye. Good
Max,
luck.
are you in the Discord as well? iExec Discord?
I'm not at the moment, or I will
No, we are
have
not
to
on
double
Discord
check.
yet.
Not sure.
No, we're not in Discord yet, but we will
Oh.
be added in it. So you'll be able to contact us as well at Key Partners.
Okay. Well, no, I was gonna type in the chat if you don't mind, like, because you said if we have questions and stuff to contact you, or can you like put some of your like your X link or something?
For sure. I can see my X. Just wait. I'll drop in the chat and then feel free to ping me there.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks, Evelyn, and thanks everyone for joining the session. Take care.
Don't forget to register on DoraHacks as well.
Of course.